To see a presentation, it's come out very nice. I'm very eager to hear you speak about it today.
Thank you, sir. I'm really excited too.
So shall we begin?
We'll wait for one more minute, Prasiddhi. Just 1 minute.
Sure.
Yes,
I have
Prasiddhi.
given you the I've enabled share screening, so I hope you will be able to screen share.
Okay. Yes, I think I am able to screen share.
Okay, great. So shall we?
Yes, Prasiddhi. We can get started. Yes.
Okay. Someone has so rightly mentioned the biggest part of our digital transformation is changing the way we think. Welcome, Namaste, and Vanakkam to the Navratri Tech Talks, organized by Mahindra Technical Academy in association with Prasiddhi Forest Foundation. So today is our fourth day of Navratri Tech Talks. Our last 3 days were very insightful and interesting. And the whole point of this platform is to ensure we, the next generation, is no more behind the technical transformation. And today we will have a very inspiring session by an amazing young innovator, Saee Patil, and a really very special guest. So to begin with our session's journey, I would like to invite our chief guest of the day, Miss Sugandhi Medasani. So, what shall I say about her? The more is less for her introduction. My school principal, my mentor, and one of the amazing person I have known. With Miss Sugandhi Medasani at helm as principal, Mahindra World School has ventured into uncharted waters and emerged as beacon among the educational institutes in the region. She is an experienced as an educator in universities, colleges, and schools in India and the United States. A passionate teacher at heart, she works with a conviction bordering on obsession that every child is entitled to good education. Miss Medasani has doctorate in philosophy, following two master's degree in English and humanity and a master's degree in philosophy. She is the proud recipient of Nanette Brooker's Women's Studies Scholarship, Jesse H. and Mary Gibbons Jones Scholarship, and Humanities Graduate Student Scholarship, and was honored as the Outstanding Women's Studies Graduate Student and University Topper at the University of Houston Clear Lake. Miss Medasani was the Teacher of the Year awardee more than once during her teaching years in the States. In an academic career spanning 2 decades, she has published many research articles in national and international journals and authored academic books for various young learners in India and USA. Under her leadership, the school has amassed various grants and awards. Atal Grant towards Atal Tinkering Lab, Global Innovative School Award 2018 by BITS Pilani Dubai, Brain Feed the Happy Quotient School Award 2019, and EdTech Review Award 2019. Miss Sugandhi Principal Ma'am, we are so delighted to have you with us. So Principal Ma'am, the stage is all yours. Ma'am, you will
Yeah.
have to unmute.
Yes, I have unmuted. Sorry about it. And thank you, Prasiddhi, for your wonderful introduction. There cannot be a proud moment to a teacher to hear such words from her own student. Okay, so that is a blessing, I would say. There is a purpose, there is a call, higher call, that what we always feel. So my purpose is to be with children and to learn and grow along with you, to be very honest with you. Learning is a lifelong process. So with this thought process in mind, I ventured to become a teacher. So I cherish every moment and, the kind of opportunity that is given to me. And I'm also given many such moments to create opportunities for you all and for myself is a true blessing from God and above. And to be with such brilliant people like Dr. Shankar, whom I know for more than 7 years. I'm closely associated with him, and also blessed to teach his wonderful daughters, this eldest daughter. I take so much pride in my students. Right now I have Prasiddhi, I have Shavya, and of course all these wonderful young kids, though I have not interacted with them. But the moment I was going through that list of these young innovators, it gives such goosebumps and, such young, tender age. These millennial children, they are evolving constantly, like how the world is also evolving. So today's topic is about STEM, and STEM is okay for us, something now we all are concentrating and focusing on, but this is already existing with us for ages immemorial. Okay, so even my PhD topic was on religion, and I also connected science with religion. You cannot do apart science and religion. Today we are talking about technology, mathematics, and even Saee's profile. When I read, she's so much interested in music. Okay, so there is a lot of interesting thing about each child, and there is so much interdisciplinary what we are looking at. So education is a kind of a holistic development of a child. And I also, as you were introducing, I strongly believe that each child has inherent potential. As educator and a parent, it is our foremost duty to unleash these potentials. So that is the focus of USP of the school. It's just not the academic accolades that we should bag, but also in various fields. Right now, Prasiddhi, she's a founder, the youngest founder of this Prasiddhi Forest Foundation. And Saee, she never attended a formal school. Still, she has bagged such prestigious scholarships abroad and from the University of Virginia. And my student, I had the greatest opportunity. God blessed me to fly to Israel and meet Shreya in Tel Aviv. And these are, memorable things in my life, I would say. When I pen down these things, this goes a very long way. And I feel so happy that we should nurture such, a thought process in our children, and especially girls, because for some reason, yes, our society, we had obstacles, but no more. We used to have such stereotypes, and now everything is shattered, and girls are scaling greater heights just like boys. So I'm not going to accept that they have a different caliber, IQ. Nothing stops, and I don't believe all that uh, things, unless when you experience, as you rightly said, I was teaching gifted talented children in the United States. And these children are so talented, but they cannot perform when you give them a test. They are very smart. You cannot put them, confine them to a time slot and ask them to perform. So they outperform. They are the group that think outside the box. So today the world is looking at these children who can think outside the box, and school is a true nurturing ground. And I'm very glad that we have parents like Dr. Shankar and others, in the community, who are giving such opportunity to children. And they are closely associated with the IITs and top research schools and institutes across the country and abroad. So they are bringing such talents together. And definitely, we are going to see things evolving from various points, and girls should take up, any platform for that matter. They should not worry, or they should not have such inhibitions. Mathematics, for example, it's a scary subject. That's what children, they talk. But it is the passion. If you create interest, if you sow the seed of liking for that, children will definitely learn. So this is what Stanford professor talks about in our book, the recent book which I read on Carol Dweck, Stanford professor, the psychologist. She has been researching on this for a few decades, and she really wrote in her book how our research proved that we all are wrong, and she's talking about growth mindset. So today, our millennial children, we get to hear this. They are very smart. They are very smart because they are thinking differently. Okay. And honestly, there is a comparison how dumb we used to sit in a class and not move, and we used to get all. She's a calm and quiet child, but actually we are scared. We cannot express our views, and sometimes we may even find, okay, there are many other methods to arrive at a solution, but being humble and everything was considered as virtues. And but definitely, yes, we must revere our teachers, and in a very nice way, in a gentle way, we can disagree also. So that is what I want to do it in, mostly in our school. Children should be given that freedom, that thought process. Please let us not confine them to only classrooms and whatever the teacher says is right. No, I don't buy that notion. So STEM is something that is definitely gaining momentum in various fields, just not very limited. Today, there were a few journal articles I have been reading about. There are many lucrative careers and jobs pinned on STEM. So innovation. See, 20 years ago, there was a presentation that we all were preparing and bringing in different interdisciplinary subjects to teach fourth grade gifted talented program. And these children were looking at simple objects like paperclip and post-it note. These are very simple things, and how they evolved, how they came into use. That is innovation, right? So we should allow children to think very differently, and that is growth mindset. And definitely parents now, they are focusing in helping children develop such skills. And communication is a very, very important skill for them, because they fear to put across their ideas very nicely, and people should be able to understand their thought process. For that, the school and even parents should come together. We should be on the same page to see where each child is lacking. Okay. And for girls also, we should not say, okay, she's a girl child and we cannot send her for higher studies, this what are the programs, this is mostly boy stuff, nothing like that. So every now and then there are girls who are challenging. Even in the recent Olympic Games, we have been following, right? So for everything today, there is so many possibilities, and children should acquire skills. So parents and teachers, we should team up together And we should have a complete survey and a complete research to see what each child is gifted with. And we should tap that potential. And once they have passion, that's what Carol Dweck also talks about in her research. There is no such thing that the failures, they are not taking failures like how we used to take it. We sometimes we find it very difficult. We cannot cope with it failure, because we were told, okay, you have missed it, and what next? So we need to, we were forced to think in those lines. But no more. These children, they think, okay, what next? Okay, how I can arrive at it in a different way. That's what she's talking about. Who are we to decide? And IQ and these parameters are not something that is fixed. It's not a fixed mindset. So children, please understand, you have the full potential. Even your IQ can grow if it is a nurturing ambience. So as a school, as an educator, as a teacher at heart, this is what I would always want to tell children. And, it could be any field. And really now with the new education policy in place, we are trying to implement everything, integrate everything into our curriculum. And definitely it's a very welcoming move that CBSE is also focusing. And they are working closely with the British Council. They are changing the pattern of curriculum, even assessment, everything is going to be case study and, mostly of assertive and research kind of assessment. What they are thinking is very important for us. So human species, I mean, we are known for that curiosity. Okay, starting from our Ramayana days, how they had this flying that Viman, no one had any clue. Even we look at our pyramids and we wonder, oh man, what kind of architecture. So everything is science and technology, there's nothing new. But as the world evolved, the challenges are very different set of challenges. Now, for example, Prasiddhi is focusing on environment. So that is her, she feels, okay, her planet, we need to conserve and preserve, and, she may become one great environmentalist in future. And her focus is, her passion is in that. For Saee, it is other fields. So she's also definitely going to link our mathematical skills and science into music and come out like Beethoven. Okay. So this is what the world really is looking out to. And definitely India should become like other Western countries, where they nurture, where they allow children, give them the freedom. Don't tell them, okay, these subjects you should score 100, that is not smart. But what your thought process, your idea, which is original, that is what is very important, because STEM is focusing on form and function. Form is what is your creative process. You give a form to your ideology, and then function, how you are going to arrive at solution, is your function. That is what is about the STEM. And the school is also focusing on this artificial intelligence and, your future. During our days, we talked about internet and, semiconductors. Now your world is definitely far ahead of us. Maybe, you're going to be completely into this AI driven world. So this is what I wanted to convey to all young innovators in this forum. And I'm sure we are going to be talking about you in future also. And we are definitely going to be very supportive of your ideology. I'm sure Dr. Shankar definitely is looking at these important areas, and we should closely tie up with such research institutes and even schools like Tel Aviv. I saw schools are closely associated with the universities and bringing in grants and giving children such grants, promoting their research skills. And that is what I would like to invest even in Mahindra school. So that should be the platform. Children should not have any boundaries and obstacles. They should be given that freedom not to worry, and have that nurturing ground for their research and problem solving things should happen in a school. So these are my dream, and definitely I'm driving towards that. And during my tenacity and with the support and help from parents like Dr. Shankar, I'm sure we will give such opportunity to our students. And once again, I thank you, sir, for this opportunity, and I wish Saee, best of luck, dear, for your presentation. And I'm very much interested to listen to your presentation. And thank you, Prasiddhi, for this introduction and inviting me to be a part of this wonderful forum. Thank you all, and a happy Navratri to all of you. May Goddess bless each one of you. Each one of you is a goddess. That's what the Durga represents. I was reading David Patnaik has come up with another book, how our goddesses came with the 4 hands and multiple heads, how the form. I was talking about the creativity. It's about multitasking. So for each STEM, you can have one for science, one head, and one technology, and one engineering, and maths, and one for arts also. It's called STEAM now. So that's how you all are goddess to us. And, definitely our future, you're our hopes, you're seed of our hopes. And, we will nourish you, and we will nurture you, and we will support you in every possible way. God bless you, children. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so
That's
much.
all.
Yes.
Yeah. So, ma'am, as always, it was such an inspiring talk that you gave, ma'am. Just a minute. Inspiring talk that you gave. Thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule. And I believe that you are a gardener where you take care of all the buds and make them bloom into flowers and reach great heights. And it is our pleasure to host you at the right day and at the right time. So, along with Navratri, it is also International Day of Girl Child. So,
wonderful, wonderful.
And so rightly, thank you so much, ma'am, for coming on the right day and taking out time. And so rightly mentioned about the book of Carol Dweck, who is the Stanford professor and who discussed and did a research on growth mindset.
Yes.
You also mentioned about to agree to disagree and many such amazing topics. And one point which I found really interesting is that failure is the chapter of new opportunities.
Yes.
So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us in today's session and being our chief guest. And as you know that I'm on a mission to plant 1 lakh trees by the year 2022. And I've planted 23,000 trees and created 18 fruit forests. Here is a small token of gratitude from my side. So I'll plant a tree on behalf of you. So you've been from the beginning of my journey. So this is a small token of gratitude for this amazing talk you've given.
Thank you, Prasiddhi. And remember my commitment to you. We will go to Boston.
Definitely.
Okay?
Definitely. And
yes.
now I request Dr. Shankar to share your thoughts.
Sure. Thanks, Dr. Sugandhi, ma'am. Thank you so much. And very important point of the growth mindset, you brought it at the right time. Because I like the word mindset because it's something internal, not external. So all of us can actually make a change and decide that we are going to learn something new and contribute to something, make an impact. These are all internal values rather than anything external. So I'm so happy that you could highlight that during your talk. And I'm sure every single person in the audience has the same potential as the speakers here today who have really identified their passion and really excelled in the field. And every single person in the audience also has the same potential to do that. So this growth mindset is such a beautiful concept. I'm very glad that you brought it up today. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
So I would request my friend, Mr. Vinay Nair, who has been coaching and mentoring Saee. And he has, in fact, 3 more students of his who spoke in this event. One of them has already spoken. Saee is the second one. We have 2 more students of his. So I would request Vinay to tell us about the organization Raising a Mathematician, and also introduce his student, Saee Patil. Over to you, Vinay.
Thank you, Shankarji, for this opportunity and kind introduction. And thank you, Ms. Sugandhi, for that wonderful and inspiring talk. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Joe Wooler myself, and reading about the growth mindset is truly very inspiring. So, listening from you again was all the more beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I'll give a quick intro to all the wonderful audience who have joined here today evening. So my name is Vinay Nair. I'm one of the co-founders of Raising a Mathematician Foundation, and we are a not-for-profit organization. And our main job is to hunt, but not hunt for killing, but hunt to identify students who have a strong inclination towards mathematics, and many students in whom this strong inclination lies hidden and it is not identified quite early. So we try to identify those students and nurture them over a period of time and give them opportunities as we go ahead, trying to give them different flavors of mathematics, beyond the school curriculum, beyond what is offered in the Olympiads and so on. So that way, a lot of our students, they have got into different areas in mathematics. Like one of the speakers who is going to come is Sanaya. So she has got a strong inclination of math and economics, and Saee has got a very strong inclination towards math and computer science. So how can math be? How can they see math in various other disciplines? We try to give them those kind of opportunities. And there are some programs that probably many of you might be interested and benefit from. So there is our flagship program called Raising a Mathematician Training Program, which is a free of cost 1-week residential training program for students of high school. Of course, now it is online until the pandemic gets into a better situation. We have all girls math nurture camp that is coming up in December, which will be conducted again this time online. But again, that's a free of cost program, so students can apply, and there is a selection process. And there is one contest that is coming up called Roots, where we are trying to identify students of 5th to 8th grade who have an inclination towards math. And the top 100 students, they also get to attend a math camp. So the idea is to bring all of them, all these passionate students who are from different parts of the country, together in a program where they can meet like-minded students. They can, they can be with their cult, so to say, and learn from each other, and learn from experts as well. So that's what we do. And it's a great pleasure for me to introduce Saee. Saee has been with us since last, I think, 4 or 5 years. And Saee is a teenager from Pune. And as you would have read in her profile, she is an unschooled girl. That means she doesn't go to school, but that doesn't mean she doesn't learn. She learns a lot of things at home and through a lot of other teachers that, who mentor her. Starting from her mother, who has been a wonderful mentor and who identified her love and passion towards mathematics and a lot of other areas at a very young age. So she's passionate about math and computer science, like I said. But apart from that, she loves gardening and farming. She loves photography. She loves to trek. And as Ms. Sugandhi said, she loves music. She's been learning music and Jal Tarang. So she's all over the place. She loves to learn. And apart from that, she also loves to transfer this knowledge, whatever she gains. So she volunteers for a lot of programs that we do, where she comes as a co-teacher, a teaching assistant, and then helps out students and so on. So that's a bit about Saee. And I just wanted to share one more incident, and then I'll not take up Saee's time, so that you all can listen to her. So there was a program that Saee attended called MathPath. Okay, so in the US, like Ms. Sugandhi was saying, there are a lot of gifted education program that happens in the US. And three of those programs that are quite striking are, one is called Epsilon in the US, and which is for students of 7 to 11 years. The other is MathPath for 12 to 15 or 16 or 11 to 15 or so. And then there is Math Camp. So Saee had applied for MathPath in US, and it's a tough nut to crack, to be very honest. So students go through the what do you call that, the qualifying test for a lot of, for many days, and they attempt that. And Saee did that, and she applied for the program. And the program comes with a huge price tag, honestly. I mean, a huge price tag for us in India, right? Because when we convert USD to INR, it becomes quite a big amount. And this is a 1-month residential camp, so it is definitely going to cost cost a lot. But then, Saee, looking at Saee's performance in the qualifying test, they gave a 90% scholarship for Saee. And 2 years ago, she flew to US all alone. And you were what? You were under 13, right? Or just 13, Saee?
I was 12.
You were so Saee went all the way to US all alone. She stayed there for 1 month, surviving on pizza and ice creams, because she's a vegetarian. So, but she had an awesome time about all this. I'm saying about all these things so that all of you who when you see these kind of opportunities, don't hesitate just by looking at the price tag. You never know. You apply, and then you can get scholarships. You can go to amazing places, and you don't have to wait for growing up, earning money. You can start getting all these opportunities right now. So that's a bit about Saee. I mean, I can give one more session, if I have to talk about my students, but I think that won't be fair to the audience and to Saee. So with that, I'll end. Over to you, Saee.
Thank you, sir. There's nothing more that a student needs other than an introduction from the teacher. Yeah. Thank you very much. I'll just get started. So usually when we think about computer science, right? So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Maybe, oh yes. So before we get started, this is a really nice quote that I found. Says that computer science is no more about computers than astronomy is about telescopes. So you'll find out more in the talk. So usually when we think about computer science, maybe we think about video games and how they are programmed and all. But actually there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. So you'll see a lot of random stuff here, and it will hopefully make sense towards the end of the talk. So, okay, so let's take a look at the socks. So imagine this. You really need to go to this party, and you really need to wear socks, but the power suddenly goes out, and you just have lots of socks in a drawer, and you know that they're either like blue or red, and you just randomly like start pulling out socks from the drawer. So how many socks will you need to pull out before you have a pair of the same colored socks? Just want you to think about it for a few minutes, maybe for like
3 socks.
3. Okay, interesting. Why is that? So what will happen is that when I pull out 3 socks, 2 of them will have to be the same color. Let's say that my luck is really bad, and the first 2 socks I pull out are different colors. Let's say that the first one is blue, the second one is red. But the third one, it's going to be either blue or red. So whichever one I get, I'm obviously going to like get a pair of same colored socks, right? All right. Well, let's say we have more socks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 color. You have lots of socks. You're into fashion, so you have like 6 different colored socks. How many will you need to pull out so that you have a pair?
7.
7? Okay, right. So we can just, yeah, that's exactly correct. So we can just use a similar argument. And let's say that we have a really bad luck, and the first 6 socks we pull out are all of different colors. Let's say the first one that comes out is black, the second one is blue, yellow, and so on. But the 7th sock, it will have to be from one of the previous colors, and then you'll have a pair. All right, but okay. So now if I just go back a few slides, you'll see pigeons here. So what are those pigeons for? So there's this theorem called pigeonhole principle in discrete mathematics. I'll get to it more later. So what does it say? It says that if you have more pigeons and less boxes or like holes to keep them, you'll have to have a box with more pigeons. So in this case, you have like 10 pigeons and 9 boxes, right? So if you try to put the pigeons without cutting, no animal violence, please, then like one box will have to contain more than one pigeon. I mean, this seems very obvious, but this is a very big theorem in mathematics. And this is kind of also what we did with the socks. So when we pulled out 3 socks, but there were only 2 colors. So there were kind of like 3 pigeons and 2 colors. So we have to have 2 socks of the same color at the end of the day. Well, okay, we'll get back to this. So just keep this aside for a while. So what exactly is an algorithm? Would anyone like to answer what exactly an algorithm is?
A rough sketch of the logic that a program is supposed to do. For example, if your program is supposed to make a square, then first your whatever it does, it will first go forward, then turn 90 degrees, go forward, turn 90 degrees, go forward, turn 90 degrees, and go forward, turn 90 degrees to make a square.
Right, exactly. So it is just a set of instructions that we need to give to the computer to make it do what we want it to do. So for example, let's say I'm a computer and I absolutely don't know how to cook. How will you tell me how to make a chai? So I don't know what to do. So first, like, you'll just have to like give me everything very detailed step by step, and that will be the algorithm. Or maybe some of you know Rubik's cubes. So if you've seen Rubik's cubes, there is a particular algorithm that you need to follow to solve them. So, but when you do write an algorithm, there's a lot of things going on behind that. For example, let's say, so you remember the party you were going to? So it needs a lot of chai. You need to make a lot of chai. And it won't work very nicely if you just like take 1 cup of water and like just make 1 cup chai each time, right? It's going to take you forever. Instead, you can just take like a big vessel and just put everything in proportion into that. So we don't want our algorithm to take too much time. We don't want it to take too much memory either. We don't want to use up a lot of vessels, right? Not good. Memory as in so I'm sure most of you must know about memory. So nowadays everyone has cell phones. So there's and it's yes, so memory as in like the chips and all in the computer. I don't want to get into technicalities, but yes, the idea is that we don't want to use up a lot of vessels in the chai analogy. And well, how do we know it even works? Like maybe you'll tell me an algorithm to make chai. How do I know it even works? So we need a formal proof that tells us that you give me any input, I'll give you whatever you want. So like this is where the pigeons come in. So in the in proving that our algorithm works, this is where we use the pigeonhole principle like we saw earlier. And like mainly in proving this, there's a lot of discrete math involved, and pigeonhole principle is just one of the main topics. One of the theorems in discrete mathematics. All right. So, okay. I thought I could maybe talk about some really surprising results. One of them is the traveling salesman. So let's say that, most of you guys know about Swiggy, Zomato, and or maybe you know about Postmans. So this problem is, it goes like this. So a postman wants to start at his home and he wants to visit a couple of different places to deliver the letters and then wants to come back to his home. What's the fastest way he can do that? So this problem surprisingly has no fast enough algorithms. So like all the algorithms we know for this are very slow. And if we know the fast algorithms we do know for it, they're not exactly correct. They won't give you the fastest. Maybe they'll give you the second fastest or the third fastest. So if you come up with a really fast algorithm for this problem, you will win $1 million. And then another one, if you come up with a fast algorithm for this one as well, you'll get $1 million. So this problem is called the vertex cover problem. So there are these corners and then these roads, and we need to place some watchmen on each of the intersections so that all the roads should be covered. So a watchman can look. So a watchman over here can look here, here, and here. So he can only patrol these three roads. So what is the minimum number of watchmen? We don't want too many watchmen. It's like going to cost too much. So what is the minimum number of watchmen that we can place on these nodes?
Two.
Two? You can do it in two? Okay, where?
I think so. You can place a watchman in the current position at the very corner, and then you can also place him at position number 8.
8. Is it going to cover all the roads?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, wait. It won't cover 2 to 4 and 4 to 7.
Right. So is there any nice way? You can maybe find out which nodes?
Maybe it's 3. Maybe
we need to make him stand at 4.
Oh, interesting ideas. So these are very interesting ideas. And why do you think we should make him stand at 4?
Like the first watchman covers some roads, and then the fourth one will cover 4 to 7, and then also 7 to 8. No, that won't happen.
So that's a good place to start at. Maybe you want to place the watchman in very crowded places, or in like the places where lots of roads are meeting at. But that is a very good start. But surprisingly, it doesn't always give us the minimum number of watchmen. Sometimes it does, yeah. So I don't exactly have an example right now, but yes, that is a very good, nice place to start. So this is one possible way of covering all the roads. So as you can see, all the roads are covered. This one is covered.
Could you please repeat the question?
Right. So what we've given is this system of roads and places of intersections, right? And we just want to place watchmen at these nodes so that all the roads are covered. So if I place a watchman at 1, these 3 roads will be covered. If I place a watchman over here, these 3 roads will be covered. So what is the minimum number of watchmen that I need to cover all the roads?
The answer is 3. We'll put 1 in 5 and 1. We'll put 1 and we'll put 1 in 7.
Okay. We put 1 where? We put 1 in 5 and then
7.
5 and 7 and
all the roads are covered now.
Are they?
Road 2 to 3 is not covered.
Right.
Within each triangle, there must be a minimum of 2 watchmen. So then there are 2 triangles, so minimum of 4 is there already.
That's a nice argument. So you're saying that if we have a triangle, we need a minimum of 2 watchmen. We have 2 triangles here, so we need at least 4 watchmen. That's a nice argument.
Actually, we can just put 1 watchman at number 1, 1 watchman at number 8, and 1 watchman at number 3. That should cover everything.
4, 7 is not covered.
Yeah, 4 is not covered, sorry.
We can put 1 watchman at 4, 1 watchman at 1, and 1 watchman at 3.
I see.
8, 5 is not covered.
8, 5 is not covered. Oops.
But by putting it at 3, isn't it covered?
No, if we put it 3, only these edges will be covered. This road is not covered.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so this surprisingly has no fast enough algorithm. But if you find one, well, let me know. You'll get $1 million. Not from me, but yes. So we have
previous problem also for a second.
this one.
Yeah. Thank you. That's it.
Okay.
I just wanted to see the name. Yeah. Thank you.
So yes. Okay, another one of my favorites is the knapsack problem. So let's say you are a thief and you want to steal as much as possible, and you have this big knapsack, and the knapsack can only, let's say, carry 10 kilo of stuff. If it goes even like 1 gram above 10 kgs, it will just break. Not good. You don't want more than 10 kgs. And you have a bunch of objects, and each object has a price and a weight. So let's say you have like a gold chain, which is, I don't know, 5 grams, and I don't know how it just costs a lot. And then there's a big idol. There's a lot of things which cost different things and have different weights. So which things you should pick so that you don't break the knapsack, but you have the maximum amount of profit?
The ones with the highest price.
Sorry, the ones with the highest price. But what if
Yes.
what if the ones with the highest price are also taking up a lot of space?
Then take the one that has less price than that, and if that doesn't work, you go to the one below that, and so you just keep on going until you find something that will fit.
We can start with buying like the lightest and the costliest object, or like it has to be more in cost and also less in weight. We can go about like that. We can just make the price higher until we get the desired weight.
Like you could take the
We can
ratios.
use our hands to carry more objects and some in the knapsack.
That's a good idea. Unfortunately, I don't think a computer has hands. Sorry.
You can just go around stealing diamonds. They are light and take up less space, and they're very.
That is also a good idea, but we're kind of running off track here. So yes, there were some excellent insights given by some people. Let's say, I think someone said that you should just pick objects that are the costliest, but also the lightest.
Like you could take the ratios of the cost.
Yes, yes, that is something. So you're being very greedy here. So that is something that is called a greedy algorithm. Just for fun. Okay. Okay, but how does it help? Other than you getting $1 million, how is it helping anyone? Like, okay, let's say maybe you do solve this problem, or maybe you solve this problem. How does it help? Well, if you come up with really fast algorithms, everything will change. Nothing will be the same again. You'll have to say goodbye to privacy, because all the chats or all the emails that you do are encrypted, and they're based on the fact that big numbers take a lot of time to factorize. So another problem that is really slow is the factorization problem. So if you give a computer a number, it is going to take a lot of time for the computer to factorize if the number is really big. So there is no fast enough algorithm for factorizing, for prime factorizing. And encryption is based on this fact that it takes a lot of time. So if you crack any one of these problems, then no one will have privacy ever in their life again. So bye-bye privacy. But there will also be a very big leap in artificial intelligence. So for example, there will be perfect translation between languages and perfect speech recognition as well. And with enough data, recognizing handwriting and images would be trivial. So if, let's say, I'm a detective and I want to recognize whose handwriting this is, it will be very trivial. If I give enough data to the computer that, let's say, oh, this handwriting is this person's handwriting, this handwriting is this person's handwriting. And if I give enough data, then the computer will instantly and trivially be able to tell me whose handwriting it is. And another very big revolution would be mathematical proofs. So computers will be able to generate mathematical proofs and will be able to verify them on their own. So like we just have to sit back and the Riemann hypothesis would be solved. Okay. Are there any questions till now? Okay. So
Okay, sorry, I have one.
Okay.
So you were saying about fast enough algorithms. What exactly do you mean by fast enough? Is there a way in which you can put it in numbers or something that we can understand? What do you mean by fast enough?
So yes, there is a way in which computer scientists have classified. So on the slide, you can see something over here. So what it is, let's say what I mean by fast enough is how the algorithm, how much time the algorithm takes for large inputs. So if it's taking a lot of time on large inputs, that is not a fast enough algorithm. So I mean, your algorithm should obviously take fast time, should obviously be fast for small inputs, but it should also be fast for larger inputs, like bigger.
And it should also take lesser memory.
Right. Yes. It should correct. It should take. It should not take a lot of memory. We do not want that. Is that good enough? Or
Yeah. So you are saying fast enough, meaning when the number gets extremely larger, right? So factorization is possible with smaller numbers as well, but I mean,
yes.
it can be done, but the problem is when the numbers get extremely large, right? Okay. Yeah. And how does factorization come in this data privacy? How does that come?
That is an interesting question. So when we send a message, it gets encrypted by something called as a key, and that key is not known to anyone. So if someone else wants to decrypt that key or wants to know how it's getting encrypted, then it is going to take a lot of time, because the key involves a lot of prime numbers and factorization and big numbers and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, okay, this is another one of my favorite topics. So let's say we have, okay, so now you're in that party which I was talking about in the starting, and there are 6 people in that party. So just take any 6 people, and let's say any 2 people are either friends or strangers. So it cannot happen that I am a stranger with you, but you are a friend of mine. No, that cannot happen. So if I am a stranger, if I don't know you, then you also don't know me. And if you are a friend of mine, then I am also a friend of yours. So a very funny thing or a surprising thing that comes up is that if you have 6 people, if you take any 6 people, then you'll always have either 3 people who are all friends with each other, or 3 people who are all strangers to each other. So you might be wondering what this diagram is. This diagram it's just written in a nicer way. So these green spots are the 6 people, and if there's a blue line, then they're strangers, and if there's a red line, then they're friends. So can anyone spot a blue or a red triangle in this?
A, B, and D. A, B, D.
Fred,
Got a blue
George,
triangle.
and there's Fred, Charlie, and Evelyn.
Fred, Charlie, and Evelyn. That's correct. There's a red triangle here. So let's wait 2 minutes and let's try to come up with a scenario where no 2 of them are friends. Like there is no. I'm sorry, I said it all wrong. Where there is no such triangle. So you don't. Can you come up with a? Can you color the lines in such a way that there is no triangle possible? Like there is no triangle with all the same colors.
It is impossible.
Are you sure? How can you be so sure?
According to the Ramsey theory, it's not impossible. It's impossible.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, okay.
I had a question.
Yes.
So this problem is only for 6 people, or can it be for any number?
Right. So we can. Yes, that is a very interesting question. So interesting. What will happen if we take 5 people? Will this work even if there are 5 people?
Because if there were three people, you could that would just be a triangle, and you can color one of the vertices, one of the edges in a different color.
Right. So if we had a triangle, we could just make it blue, blue, red, and it won't work. So is there anything special about 6? Can you do it with 5? So can you try to come up with a scenario where there are 5 people and there is no triangle possible?
I guess when there are 5 people, we can make something like that. 6 in the numbers after 6 it won't be possible, I guess.
Basically, as the numbers increase, the chances of getting a triangle is more, and then as the
Exactly.
numbers decrease, it becomes lower.
Exactly.
And then when you come to 3, you can basically form a triangle with a side which is blue.
And what about 4? Does it happen for 4?
Wait, so if there exists like a coloring for 6, where there is exactly one blue triangle, you just remove one of the person from those from that blue triangle, and now there'll be 5 vertices with no triangle.
Are you sure it will work? That's an interesting idea. Yes, that is an interesting idea. So I have a nice example here set up for 5. So this has no triangle, right? I think Omkar's idea will also work, but this looks very symmetric and nice and pleasing to the eyes. Oh, wow, that rhymed. Anyway, so yes, there's no triangle. So for 5, there is a case when there is no 3 group. But for 6, however you color the edges, you'll always find a triangle whose all the sides are either red or blue. So what do you think will happen if we want 4 people? Like instead of, we had 3 people here, right? What do you think will happen? How many people will we need if we want 4 people to be all friends with each other or all strangers with each other? What do you think the number will be? Well, it turns out, okay, so just take a guess maybe. So for 3 and 3, we had 6 here, right? So for 4 and 4, surprisingly, the number turns out to be 18. So we need at least 18 people. So over here, we needed at least 6 people for this to work out. But for 4, if you want 4 people to be completely friends or completely strangers, we are going to need at least 18 people for that to happen. So you can just try and take 18 dots and try to color the edges in such a way that there are no 4 people such that all of them are red or blue. You'll never be able to find it. Also, how do you know you'll never be able to find a scenario where there is no triangle? Can you also try to prove it? It's an interesting question to think about. Okay, so this is a nice quote by Paul Erdos, who was a great mathematician. He said that suppose aliens invade the earth and threaten to just kill the earth in a year's time, unless we can find how many people we need if we want 5 people to be completely friends or 5 people to be completely strangers. So over here we had 3, and we now want to find the number for 5, and we have 1 year's time. Okay, and he says that within a year we'll probably be able to calculate the value, and the aliens will probably leave in peace. But if they ask us to find the Ramsey number for 6, if they ask us to find that how many people do we need if we want to have 6 completely friends or 6 completely strangers to each other, then it's not possible for us right now. So we would have no choice but to launch a preemptive attack, he says. Yes, so this also has no fast enough algorithm. So finding the number of people or the Ramsey numbers has no fast enough algorithm. And you'll also get $1 million if you solve this. Are there any questions? Okay. So thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much, Mahindra, for giving me this opportunity. It was a lot of fun. Thank you. You can contact me at this email address.
Thanks, Saee, for a brilliant exposure on all about the world of algorithms and computation. Actually, nobody could have introduced this topic in such an interesting way. and you did a great job of doing that, because this is a very complex topic, and the people who know it, many times they don't know how to put it in an interesting way, but you could do both. So it was really nice, very, very nice. Excellent. When you talked about fast algorithms, there is something else that came to my mind, which I wanted you and also the others in the audience to also know about, which is also the way we do the computing itself. That is changing. We would have heard about quantum computing. So quantum computing is becoming more and more practical, getting closer to room temperature and becoming a lot more affordable these days. So you would have realized that quantum states, you can have an infinite number of states that can exist simultaneously, as compared to the just the one. It can either be one or it can be zero. That is the normal way we do computing. But in quantum, between 1 and 0, there can be infinite number of states that can parallelly exist. That means this entire computation can be done just a fraction of a second. What would other taken 100 years could be done in just a few seconds. That is quantum computing. And there is a lot of breakthroughs that has happened in the last 2-3 years in quantum computing. So maybe in the next 5 years, we may have access to quantum computing. Okay. And that can entirely change everything that we are talking about. And so this $1 million prizes assume that we are stuck with the current slow, linear, serial computing. But once the parallel quantum computing comes in, maybe they have to make the challenges even tougher, so that it becomes really worth to get these prizes. Actually, things are changing. And interestingly, a lot of the technologies, I just mentioned quantum computing, there are many more other technologies that are also growing very fast, almost exponentially. And the cost of this is also falling down exponentially, so that you and I will have access to all these technologies going forward. And the same concerns that you mentioned in terms of privacy and the security of the data, all those things are being discussed about in the context of quantum computing also, because the same thing would happen there also. That's going to be a problem. So we may have to think of better ways of securing and protecting data when those things become reality. So we are getting into a very interesting space. Actually, it's going to be very, very exciting going forward. Yeah. So let me just look for some questions from the audience that I can read it out to you.
May I ask
Yeah.
a very
Sure.
informal question?
Yes, Vinay.
Okay.
Yes.
So, say I think it might be useful to share. How did you find this love for computer science? Were you into coding? Is that what brought you to computer science, or how did you start liking this area of mathematics? And how do you think students who are in middle school, or is that too early, or when can they start getting into the subject? According to you, what your experience is? Yeah.
Okay, so I started with I started with discrete mathematics, and I realized that I was really liking it. And when I said pushed me to take this course on algorithms, and I was completely unsure if I will understand it. Actually, I was like very sure I would not understand it. But the first day I sat in the class, I was so excited and it went really good. And I just felt like, yes, this is something I like. So um, I guess that's how I started with computer science. And if you like math, or even if you don't like math, you can always start with coding is a great place to start computer science. It is more to the implementation side. But if you also like theory in math, you can there's a lot behind the coding going on as well, like I talked today. So if you like math, then computer science is a nice thing. You can give it a try. And even if you don't like math, you can give it a try.
Okay. So your entry into computer science was through mathematics and not through coding, right?
No,
How,
I did not know any coding before I took the class. So yes, it was a lot of fun. Yes.
So about your interest in music. So when you're into music, You just immerse yourself in music, or do you also look at music from a math perspective? How do you balance these two interests?
Yes, a funny thing is a few years back, just when I was doing that computer science course, just I randomly noticed that there are 22 Shrutis and there are 7 Swaras. So it's and everything. I was just baffled. Like, does it have any connection? I don't know.
Sure.
Yes,
Sure.
even like while learning music, I like there's this thing called Mere Khandas where you have to permute everything, like say Sare
Correct.
Gama, Sare
Correct.
Ma. And yes, there's a lot of permutation and combinations involved. In fact, there's in history of mathematics actually, Pingala and all these, they were like, there's a lot of math and music, and there's a lot of music in math. So they're like,
Uh,
no. Mhm.
can imagine. Surely, absolutely. So you do try to think from a mathematical perspective when you are doing your music also, which is very interesting. There is my friend Bridge Mohan in the audience who also wants to hear about your homeschooling or unschooling, what you call that. What is that experience like, and how it has actually helped you to focus on your math passion?
Right. So I'm actually unschooling, and it's a great experience because I do not have to do any other subjects. I just do what I like, and I mean, I'm just happy the whole day because I do a lot of math, I do a lot of computer science, I do a lot of reading, and I think it really helps me to um, I don't know where I would have been if I would have gone to school, because I would have had to do lots and lots of stuff, but now I can only do math, which is like what I like. So yes, not going to school has definitely helped me a lot, I guess. And I never actually felt like I'm missing something, because through math I got in a lot of communities, and I got essentially teachers, and I got into raising a Mathematician Foundation, and so I have lots of great friends. So yes, it's a great experience.
Um, Malay Mahajan wants to know, what are you currently studying and what are your future plans like?
Okay. I am currently. Oh, okay. I am currently doing some theoretical computer science, and I also just finished. I actually just finished a course on coding, so I did not know much coding before this. So, computer, yes, as Vinay was also saying earlier, computer science is not just coding. There's like lots of stuff. So I just finished a course on coding, and I am also preparing for the mathematical Olympiads, but that's just a side thing I'm doing, and I am what am I doing? That's an interesting. I'm also doing a course in quantum computing. So yes, you mentioned about quantum
Yes.
computers. So I am learning about that, and I am yes, that's basically. And I'm learning some more number theory as well. So some self study and from some teachers. And my future plans, I do not know.
Incidentally, IBM is offering a good introductory course on quantum computing. It's a good one.
Yes, yes.
Nice. Um, Either now or later offline, we also wanted to share some resources and websites. Somebody wants to start to learn coding. What are the good places to start at? That's something that quite a few people in the audience want to know from you. I think great.
There
We
is
are
one
in shape.
question about
Yes.
uh, her experience from PACT and MathPath,
Yes.
and
Yes.
yeah, so how did it feel like a 12-year-old girl, being with a bunch of international students? So if you can share something.
I was honestly very scared. Like, will I be able to make friends? My English was terrible at that time. So I was very afraid of if I'll be able to communicate, if I'll make friends, and how will it go. But sometimes you just do some things and they just happen. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience from a mathematical point of view. But I also got like the experience of traveling on my own, not eating homemade food. And yes, it was a lot of fun. So at MathPath, I also learned a lot about mathematical history, like general mathematical history, like how we started a long time ago and where we are right now. And there, I also got to know about lots of like cool applications like submarines and whales and how math is used there. And PACT was also a super fun experience. Unfortunately, I could not do it offline, but I was engaged the whole day and I just didn't know how the day went. I was just like, that it was like just computer science, like just that in my mind the whole day. And it was a lot of fun. Yes. PROMYS was a completely different experience again. So over there, I was encouraged more to think myself and come up with solutions and theorems on my own and conjecturing uh, theorems myself. And it's a lot of fun when you actually like prove something on your own without any help. That satisfaction is just bliss, and that's what I do math for.
Sorry, can you tell what is PROMYS?
Oh yes, PROMYS is a camp based on number theory. So it's usually offered at Boston University, and it will also start in India from next year. So it's a camp for 14 and above, 14 to 18 year old high school students. It's mainly focused on number theory, which is another branch in mathematics, which I really like. And it also, I mean, there's a lot of number theory, but there's also a lot of other stuff that goes on. And it's mainly there to develop a research kind of mindset. And there's a selection process that you have to go through. So you have to submit. You have to solve a few bunch of problems that are there on the website. I'll maybe just put it somewhere in the chat. And you have to solve those problems and email them. And you have to get a recommendation from a teacher and from your parents as well sometimes. Yes, so that's how for MathPath and PACT also. For MathPath you have to solve a qualifying test, and for PACT you have to submit an application and your transcript and all that.
There is one question. Saee, when do you go out to play?
So yes, that is a very nice question. I do play a lot every day. It's not like I do math the whole day, but yes, that's math is most of the part of my day. But I also play a lot. I love to go trekking. So every weekend I try to go somewhere outside with my family, and we go on lots of treks. Yes. Okay. How should I start with computer science?
Yeah.
That's a nice question. You might want to start with coding, or if you want to start with theoretical computer science, you should have a nice background in discrete mathematics. And once you're done with that, I think you can just get started with it. So once you have a nice background in discrete mathematics, you can do anything in computer science, mostly.
Would you want to elaborate what exactly comes under discrete mathematics and how people can learn it topic by topic or something like that?
Okay. Discrete math mostly contains of combinatorics and like I was talking about the pigeonhole principle earlier. So you can start it. I can recommend a few books for that, or there are also lots of courses available for discrete mathematics. So some of you discrete mathematics is a lot about, it's the exact opposite of, like not the exact opposite, but it's the opposite of calculus and like continuous stuff. So this discrete mathematics is where stuff is all, I don't know how to say this. discrete. Yes, yes, that those are very good recommendations. So, the Combinatorics by Dr. S. Karan is a great place to start. And you can also start with maybe some, yes, it comes into combinatorics again, graph theory, and maybe some basic also mathematical proofs, types of proofs by induction and contradiction, stuff like that. Mathematical logic is a good place to start. Yes.
I think we will compile all these links and resources and share it with all the participants. There's something which will be very useful for them. It's really good. Great. So what we will do is, in the interest of time, we will actually wrap it up now. But what we will also do is make sure that whoever is interested will be able to connect with both you, Saee, and also Mr. Vinay Nair, so that they will get a lot more guidance, and then they'll be able to pursue their interest based on what we discussed today. Sure. So thanks a ton for a brilliant talk and such an engaging session, actually. It was really, really good. And I would request my young friend Prasiddhi to offer a formal vote of thanks today. Over to you, Prasiddhi.
Thank you, Dr. Shankar. So, thank you so much, Sai, for such an amazing session where you, with flow, explained us that from mathematics to computer science to different algorithms and permutations and combinations in Sangeet. So, it was a brilliant session, and thank you so much for throwing your thoughts. And thank you so much, Sugandhi ma'am, for sharing us on growth mindset and inspiring us to do more. Um, and then thank you so much, Mr. Vinay, for bringing this amazing genius side to us. And then Dr. Shankar, thank you so much for giving us wings of creativity and to express our feelings and motivate other people to do something. Thank you so much. And last but not the least, a big thank you to the audience for joining us and listening to us and getting inspired. And so, this was all for today. It was an amazing session. Thank you so much, all of you. And so, don't forget to join us tomorrow with one more thrilling yet exciting session by one more young innovator. So, thank you so much for joining us. And before we conclude, could we have a screenshot? So, I request all of you to on your cameras. So I request you all to do a thumbs up and say Happy Navratri. Okay. Happy Navratri.
Happy Navratri.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Happy Navratri.
Thank you so much. Amazing. And don't forget to join us tomorrow in one more session.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.